I am excited because it has been a sausage party, and it would be nice to just have a woman there.
We have a different approach to things.
Really, sorry, I know.
Yeah,
Gerald doesn't like that. Neither does my producer.
It's all good. We still.
But I would like to see it. It has been historically, unlike Gerald. Gerald, again, you've been unopposed, and we have not had any issues. But if we are being honest, we have had trouble in our political arena in the area, and we need new blood. We need new blood.
We need new blood. We need new leadership. We need people of integrity, whether they be men or women.
Yeah, but women are better.
Women are beautiful.
Thank you. I just want to say
and I love mine. But,
freedom of speech allows me to say those things.
Right.
But again, that seat had been held by one person for a long time, and he decided to change hats, and he's gonna do what I hope is great things for the city of Jackson and be more focused. But new eyes, new blood give us an opportunity to do new things that are unthought of. It really is. And I know, and I'm not going to harp on it, but the ideas that you can bring in on beautification with land and with these different things for titles that you have worked on, and I know for sure that I've dealt with you on, that's just one thing that can cascade into so many other things.
I was just going to say, there are no women in the Hines or Madison delegation. So, Kamesha being added to that room of men would be an added change.
Softness.
Yeah. And
it needs it. It really, and I take this back to what I said about this episode of Black Love. You need a yin and a yang. That room has been the same dynamic for so many years, and that's why this district feels like it's been rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So this is the time and the opportunity that the voters have to not only put a pretty face on the scene, but to put somebody who is more than qualified to sit at the table. And I'll say, maybe more qualified than some that are already there as far as being diverse. And the area needs diversity, not just even, and I'm saying that because I can, that it needs a woman's touch, but it needs the different opinion, because there's no way that a room full of men can understand the pros and the cons of what it takes at a school district, period. It's no way. The way that women and moms are in those school districts, even the population, there's so many more women that are out there. There needs to be somebody that can understand what needs to happen to make the room available for a family. And the district needs it. And again, our children need to see leaders that are diverse. It's time for our children to see that mom can work, mom can run a business, and mom can sit at the table of leaders that help organize our city, our state. Like, it's just the time for that.
Our daughter's teacher sent me a message after the last election, the special election, and she said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the results for today. She said, but no one is more proud than your daughter. And that just touched me, because I have been working so hard on this campaign, haven't been as present as a mom. I'm kind of helicopter mom most of the time, but this semester of school, I've kind of let them figure it out on their own, how to kind of harping on, did you do your homework as much as I normally would? And both of my children have really just kind of stepped up to the plate. But them seeing me really work hard, they don't get to see me practice law. They don't get to see me on the bench, but they have seen me knocking on doors and phone banking and working on this campaign, and the pride that I see in them. And it's a different feeling, because I think Garrison is old enough to remember when you were running, but I think they look at it differently because
they have have to.
because it's mom that's
Right.
doing it. And that makes me really proud. The other thing though is, and I said this in a forum some time ago, you know, I'm not just an attorney, you know, like I have a robust practice of law, and then I'm running a business, a title company where I'm a unicorn. I mean, if you look up the number of African American female title company owners in Mississippi, I think you will see 3, and that's it. That's hard, you know. And then doing all the other things that I do, and it really is out of love for this community that I live in. And so when I think about going to the Capitol, my time on the bench has really opened my eyes to so many things. And one of those very important things is the need for a mental health court in our state. We don't have one. And every week I have someone, I was on the bench on Wednesday, someone that's bipolar, schizophrenic, had severely injured another person. He has never had treatment. He got diagnosed once he was arrested. He had an evaluation. And so those sorts of things, and his family was there, and they said, well, we knew he had a problem. We did not have the resources to get him any help. If we had a mental health court, we could solve many problems. I also think, too, that we can't think of public safety as just responding to crimes. We need some better lighting. We need to give rebates to our people for their Ring cameras on their properties. We need after-school programs for our children. Those are all the things that help us prevent those crimes from even happening. And those are also things that have us have our community as a whole be involved. And so just the 12 years on the bench, when I'm thinking about public safety, I support wholeheartedly our law enforcement, and I am really tough on crime in my court. But I also see ways where some things never would have had to happen.
Right.
You know, and so those are some of the things that I'll be focusing on the, you know, public safety side of things. You know, I have folks that come in my court and they know I don't play around. But then I have some young people that come in who never had a driver's license, and you're 22, but you have a brand new car. How did you get this car? Why are you driving? You don't have a license or insurance. And then that's when I get in your business. What do you do every day? Oh, I really don't do anything. You know, what do you like to do? And that's kind of how I came up with this alternative sentencing. Okay, you got now $2,000 worth of fines because you don't have a license, you don't have insurance, you were speeding. Well, Judge, I need some help. Okay, I will help you. This is how you will help yourself. You like to cut hair? I need to see you go get in barber school, bring me back proof of completion, and then I'll reduce your fine. I have had so many young people come to my court who didn't have any direction, and just a simple, you like to drive, go get a CDL license. You don't have a high school diploma, go get your GED. And then I will think about a reduction in fine. Now I'm fining you to the max until you come back and show me you've done these things, but I'll suspend all of that if you do what I ask.
That's important.
That has been so successful.
That really is.
And then when they don't do it, then I have to do what I have to
Everybody not gonna do right.
Yeah.
Everybody not gonna do right. But those are great ideas. I applaud the idea of the mental health aspect of court, because I've seen it. You know, in my line of business, I see a lot of things. So, and it is not uniform. That's another thing that I was excited about, just from where I'm working at. You being in that seat, because there does need to be some propositions about, you know, small things that you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
Same thing I said about private school. You don't know until you know. Yeah. I mean, who would ever imagine that a scholarship would get turned away? Who would ever imagine? I have a friend recently. Her son was having a episode in Rankin County. And she was calling 911 to tell them that her son was in the middle of an episode and that they needed help. And that, you know, she was just trying to find him and get to him. Ultimately, law enforcement didn't get anybody involved with mental health training. Yeah. And he was killed. And, you know, I can't even say devastating, doesn't even seem like the right word, but the provisions are not there.
Yeah.
And if what they do have is not trained well. And on this level, you can only do what you can do on 119. So we need for somebody like you with all of these hats that I'm talking about to be able to be at the table where everything is pouring out of. I mean, it's so important. I mean, it's really, really important.
Yeah.
And people I get it because I'm seeing it, but the voters don't actually get it. So I'm glad that you touched on that. I didn't even know. So I'm already check on the land, check on the mental health, check on those things. And again, like I said, those are the things that are going to come into the room full of people that don't have your multifaceted background to say, what can we do this term differently? And you get to come in with all of these new ideas, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed,
ready to work,
organized, ready to work, and say, hey, how can we incorporate this into that? That's the thing that I know will happen that maybe you don't even know. There will be proposals that'll come up and they won't understand like you will that you can add one paragraph to a proposal that's already doing great work to make it fabulous for the rest of the district. I'm really excited about that.
You know, when I think about, getting to this point in my career, there are so many things that I've done 15 years ago that have prepared me for this moment, and that's kind of something that we talked about when I was thinking about running. I've had so many life experiences, so many professional experiences that have just prepared me to really be an effective state senator.
Right. Because you practice law outside of Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I'm licensed in Mississippi and Louisiana. I haven't
this is
practiced.
A whole nother animal of law down here.
Gerald takes credit for that license just because of how hard I took the Louisiana bar 5 years after I graduated from law school and passed the Mississippi bar. But I was working for this company. They do business in both states, and they said, "Hey, Kamesha, why don't you think about taking the Louisiana bar?" And this is in November. The bar was in February. So
wow!
And I said, "Oh yeah, I got that, no problem." And Gerald was like. Oh, and I still worked full time for them, and so I was working my regular, 8-10 hour days.
Jill was like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah, studying for the bar. We didn't have children yet. This is right before Garrison was born. But yeah, I would get up 5 a.m., study from like 5 to 7:30ish, get ready for work, go work all day, come home, eat dinner with him, study until 10:30, 11. I'm not a night person. I'm a early person, so I don't do the midnight oil. I have to go to bed. And so like 10:30, 11, I go to bed, and then I would just get up and do it. And so I went down there and took the Louisiana bar, and it was every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now it's a 2-day. It was a 3-day then. But when I got there to check in the hotel, everybody was staying at the same hotel right there in Kenner. It's a little hotel across from this convention center. And all these people that were there were saying, "This is my 3rd time, this is my 4th time." And so my nerves just kind of took over for a second. I remember going to bed that night, and I promise you the Lord just speaks to me, and he said, "You got this." And so I got up that Monday, took it, didn't think anything. I think I did okay. Wednesday, a gentleman had a heart attack.
Oh my God!
During the bar exam, so they had to take him out. So that really kind of rattled me. And then Friday, I thought I did terrible. And I'll never forget that Friday. The results came back on a Friday, and you had to make a fake name for the Louisiana bar. So if you fail, they post your fake name.
Oh, well, that was nice of them.
So they don't put your real name if you fail. So
they do that everywhere.
In Mississippi, you get a number. Or I don't know. It must have been 18 years, but and when we took it, you got a number. But in Louisiana, you make a fake name. So I was Beyonce Millsap.
Come on,
So, but I never saw that name because I passed the first time, and my mother-in-law and I were getting our hair done. She might not even remember this when they came out, and so I got the email, the bar results are back, and so I said I can't look because you were either your real name was on the pass list or your fake name was on the fail list. That's how they did it. And so I just handed Miss Vicky the phone, and she's scrolling, and she started going slow, and I'm like, hurry up. And then she's like, started smiling, and I was like, did I pass? She's like, you know you passed. You know, it's this whole big thing. But we were so excited. And then they all came down here to New Orleans when I got sworn in.
Okay.
And then I practiced here up until till Gia was born.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I just kind of cut back.